5,000 acres over the next 15 years is going to have a measurable impact on the water quality unless flood mitigation is given to the highest funding priority. And measures are implemented to protect the communities and lands from future flood events and intense storms. Be it further resolved that this be sent to everybody but the Pope. I'm not going to read all these names. They've got 2 paragraphs of people that'll get this, and they'll all have a copy of it.
Jeff Baker got paid by the word on that.
Yeah, I think so. Would you, so therefore I submit this resolution. Want to take a roll call, please? Do I have a second?
Second.
Sylvia?
Yes. Councilmember Van Buren?
Yes.
Councilmember Burkhardt?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamonda?
Yes.
Councilmember Freidel?
Yes.
Supervisor Lightfoot?
Yes.
Bert? Me. Does this mean Boyceville's going to get on a list for flood mitigation soon?
This
Yes.
is just a resolution.
I understand that.
Supporting the negotiations that are in place now.
But Boyceville has to be on that list.
Yes.
Otherwise, we won't get it.
It's every town that's probably going to pass this that's in the watershed.
Every town in the watershed will, if this even flies, they're having negotiations with everybody in the world now. DEC, the whole partnership, CWT, DEC, EPA, you name it.
There's groups that I've never even heard on this list.
Do we have a representative?
Pardon?
Do we have a representative in that group representing our interest?
The Coalition of Watershed Towns represents your interest, yes.
And who is our representative? Oh, good. Very good.
That CWC. Okay. Resolution number 2. The audit of Town of Olive Justice Court records. This is a state law that we have to do. We'd already done it when we closed the books, but this gets it at a official town board meeting, and it will be covered, but we're covered by doing this now. Whereas the New York State Unified Court System Action Plan for the Justice Courts includes initiatives to improve accountability and controls our justice court finances and records. And whereas Section 2019-A of the Uniform Justice Court Act requires that justices annually provide their court records and dockets for their inspection to their respective town boards, and that such records are then examined or audited, and that fact be entered into the minutes of the board proceedings. That was done at the closing of the books in December. And whereas the Town of Olive Town Board did audit and examine the records and dockets provided by Town Justice Cox and Town Justice Wright at the annual audit held on December 29th, 2011. Whereas the Town of Olive Board did, by board motion, approve said records and dockets of both justices as submitted on December 29th. Whereas the Unified Court System requires said town board approval be done by resolution. Therefore, be it resolved that the town board of the Town of Olive does hereby accept the books of Town Justice Cox and Town Justice Ron Wright as previously ordered and approved in the December 29th. Do I have a second?
Second.
Take a roll call, please.
Councilmember Van Buren?
Yes.
Councilmember Burkhardt?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamonda?
Yes.
Councilmember Freidel?
Yes.
Supervisor Lightfoot?
Yes. This is resolution number 3. participation in Enhanced Land Trust Program, ELTP, under Special Condition 33 of the watershed permit. Whereas on December 24, 2010, the New York Department of Environmental Conservation, DEC, issued a water supply permit to the New York City Department of Environmental Protection, with authorized DEP and/or its agents to purchase land in fee and to purchase conservation easements within New York City watershed west of Hudson River, subject to certain restrictions. The permit has a duration of 10 years with a one-time 5-year renewal for a total duration of 15 years. A copy of the water supply permit number so-and-so here is available on the website of the government, DEP website. Whereas Special Condition 33 of the WSP provides for the establishment of an enhanced land trust program whereby certain identified land trust organizations may work with DEP to acquire a limited number of large parcels containing habitable residential structures by facilitating the subdivision of a parcel containing the residence and selling the balance to DEP. Whereas a process memorandum has been finalized outlining the procedures and requirements of the ELTP, and the memorandum has been agreed to by the Coalition of Watershed Towns, DEP, CWC, and the various environmental and land trust organizations. And whereas the town of Olive has the opportunity to participate in this program. Now therefore be it resolved, reviewing the ELTP process memorandum dated October 12, 2011, determining that the participation of the ELTP is in the best interest of the town, that the town of Olive shall participate. Let it be further resolved that the town board of the town of Olive may reconsider the participation of the ELTP on June 2016 and June of 2021 per the conditions of the 2010 water supply permit. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, Bert, can you tell me why we have to do this with the land trust? I mean, I talked to Bruce a little bit about it, but I just want to make sure that this isn't an end around by New York City to use the land trust to acquire more land.
No. What it is New York City can now buy land with structures on it.
Right.
So if the land trust buys the piece of property with the intent that the rest of it'll be subdivided, the rest of it can be sold to the city. You could look at it the way you just said, yes, but that's the intent was to buy large parcels of land that they couldn't otherwise do unless the owners subdivided it. This way, the land trust subdivides.
Isn't it more a way for a willing seller? If somebody wants to sell their property to New York City?
It's really, New York City, most of the land that the city of New York buys, they buy through a land trust. Land trust purchases the land, they then sell it to the city. When the land trust purchases land that's intended to be sold to the city by memorandum of agreement, it has to be sold by the city. The city can't buy anything with a habitable residence on it, or a habitable building, a residence, a residence. So all this is saying is that when a land trust can purchase the property, they can then subdivide the habitable section off according to local regulations, subdivision regulations, whatever, zoning regulations, and sell the rest to the city. It has to be sold to the city if they buy it with the intention to be sold from the city. They can't buy it and then say, okay, I got a buddy in New York City, I'm gonna sell it to him instead. It has to go to the city.
But you're right, through the years they have violated that.
Well, that's what,
That's why it came up.